Okay, so I put up a video on this the other day concerning the iPad Pro. This is the 2020 version, or the version 4. And with Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom on the iPad, they had to upgrade it for the M1 chip. And like on the laptop or desktop, if you go to download Adobe, there's a choice between the Intel chip and the M1 chip because they don't work on the M1 chip, the old Adobe and Lightroom programming. And when you go on, you have to pick whether you have the M1 chip or Intel chip, and then you download the program for that. But they did upgrade the Adobe and Lightroom for the iPad with the M1 chip, but you don't have a choice. You just get the upgrade and that's it. And since then I've had issues, and I posted a video on this. The images won't, from Lightroom opening to edit into Adobe, they don't open right up. It takes 2 or 3 tries before they would load into Adobe Photoshop. And then when you were done editing and you sent them back to Lightroom, sometimes they wouldn't go back to Lightroom. They would drop in your recently edited images in the drawer in Photoshop, and then you'd have to open them back up and resend them again. I think they have that part fixed, but it is much slower. Now, I was using Hasselblad images on the iPad and the Sony 61 megapixel images on the iPad, and I never had an issue before the updates. And I'm presuming that was the M1 updates. So I have an M1 coming iPad, the 2021 or the 5th generation iPad coming on Tuesday. So I'm going to test it and see what the issue is, see if the same issues are there. I'm not going to update Adobe anything until I try it with the current version, so I know what's what on each iPad. But I want to see if it works smoother and if there are these same quirks or issues on the M1 iPad versus the 4th generation iPad, and I'll let you guys know. But right now it still works, but you have to get through these little hiccups that it has all the time. There's very few times it'll just open right up. But and like I said, it does work, but it lags out so quickly. And as they keep adding to Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop, because they're adding quite a bit at a decent rate now. It's not as fast as I would like it. But as they keep adding, it keeps lagging out just a little bit. And my current iPad is the 12.9 iPad Pro with a gig of or a terabyte of memory, and I'm thinking maybe the 16 gig of RAM in the new iPad, because I have the 16 gig RAM with the 1 terabyte. There's so many numbers. Anyway, I'm wondering if it's going to help because Apple will only allocate 5 gig of RAM to any specific program. You're not getting the full 16 gigabyte of RAM when you're using Adobe Photoshop or Lightroom, it's maybe 1 or 2 gig more than the original, the 4th generation. So it's going to just be interesting. I know I'm all over the place on this, but it's frustrating at this point, and I feel bad for a lot of photographers that they just can't go out and buy a 5th generation iPad and spend $1,800 or $2,000. If this is really the case, if this is really the problem, maybe Adobe should have done the same thing they did with the desktop and laptop. Have 2 different programs for the photographers that have either the M1 chip or the older A12, I think it was, on the 4th generation. But on Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll throw up a video and let you know how it works and if there's the same issues, and we'll go from there. Anyway, I'll see you on Tuesday with that video. Thanks.